It was well past midnight at Harvard University. The grand halls were silent, the corridors dimly lit, and the campus slept under a blanket of stillness, except for one janitor quietly sweeping the math department floors. But on this night, something extraordinary happened. As a tenured professor returned unexpectedly to his office, he stumbled upon a sight that stopped him cold. The janitor, hunched over a chalkboard, solving a complex equation that had stumped even the brightest students. At first, the professor thought it was a prank. But as he stepped closer, he realized this wasn't just scribbling. It was brilliance. What happened next sparked whispers across the campus, changed one man's life forever, and reminded the world that genius can wear a uniform, push a mop, and still change history. You won't believe what the professor did next. He stood motionless, the polished floors reflecting the chalky symbols that danced across the blackboard. His eyes moved from line to line, following the logic, the structure, the elegance of the proof unfolding before him. This wasn't guesswork. This wasn't luck. This was someone who understood deeply. He stepped forward, careful not to startle the man, his shoes making the faintest sound against the tile. The janitor, unaware he was no longer alone, continued writing, his brow furrowed in thought, lost in the kind of focus scholars spent years chasing. When the professor finally spoke, it wasn't with authority but awe. "Where did you learn that?" The janitor turned abruptly, eyes wide, caught like a child with a secret too big to contain. He fumbled with the eraser, tried to apologize, but the professor waved it off. "No, don't erase it. Keep going." Silence lingered for a moment. Then softly, the janitor said, "I didn't mean to intrude. I just saw the board earlier today. I couldn't stop thinking about it." The chalk trembled slightly in his hand, a mix of embarrassment and anticipation in his expression. The professor, still processing the precision of what he'd seen, gestured again toward the equations. "Please, finish it." So he did. What followed was a display of intuition, pattern recognition, and a depth of understanding that defied every assumption. No formal training, no prestigious degree, just pure, raw intellect wrapped in humility and work clothes. He explained his process without arrogance, with a quiet clarity that resonated beyond the numbers. The professor listened, not as an authority but as a student. By the time the sun began to rise, casting amber light across the room, the chalkboard was full. Lines of elegant logic. A solution. The janitor looked down, unsure of what would happen next. The professor reached for his phone, not to call security but to take a photo. "I